Welcome back to All About Winning Daily Fantasy Sports. My name is Ty Patton. I hope your Sunday has been enjoyable up to this point. In this video, I'm going to break down tonight's showdown contest between the Green Bay Packers and the Kansas City Chiefs. Admittedly, this game lost its lackluster when Patrick Mahomes was lost to an injury, which makes building showdown lineups even more intriguing. Before I dive into this game, I want to share with you some numbers that are fantasy relevant to showdown contests. These numbers are updated, including this past Thursday night showdown contest between the Vikings and Redskins, and there have been 46 showdown contests to date. The average score, winning score, is 134.47. The average captain score is 44.51. Remember, the captain spot gets 1.5 times their score, but it also costs you 1.5 times their salary. The captain's position is obviously very important no matter what type of contest you're playing. When I pick my captain spot, I'm trying to figure out a path to at least 30 points. And obviously, you want to focus on trying to get the captain who's going to score the most points. The following is a breakdown of the captains that have been in the winning lineups for those 46 contests. The underdog running back has been in the winning captain spot 11 times for 23.9%. The favorite quarterback has been in the winning lineup in the captain's position 10 times for 21.7%. The favorite wide receiver has been in the captain for the winning lineup 6 times for 13%. The underdog wide receiver has been in the captain spot 6 times for 13%. The favorite running back has been in the captain spot 4 times in the winning lineup for 8.7%. The favorite defensive special teams has been the captain 4 times in the winning lineup for 8.7%. Underdog quarterback has been the captain in the winning lineup twice for 4%. The underdog kicker has been in the captain spot twice for 4%. And the underdog tight end has been in the winning captain spot 1 time for 2%. Now, I broke this down further by the complete position. Running backs have combined for a total of 15 times being in the captain spot, which is 32.6%. 1/3 of all the lineups have had the running back, whether favored or underdog, in the captain spot. Wide receivers combined for 12 times being in the captain spot in the winning lineup, which is 26%. And the quarterbacks have combined for 12 times in the winning captain lineup for 26%. The captain has been on the winning team straight up 32 of the 46 showdown slates, meaning the winning team has had the player has been the captain from that team 32 out of the 46 times. What does all this mean for this game? Obviously, we need to get the captain's position right. When I took a look at this game, I thought about a couple things. Obviously, Matt Moore is a downgraded quarterback from Patrick Mahomes, but there's no doubt in my mind that Andy Reid had time to tailor a game plan to what Matt Moore can do. They also had a little extra time to prepare because their last game was not this past Thursday night, but the Thursday night before. The Green Bay defense has been tougher against the pass. They're ranked 16th, giving up 252 yards a game. And against the run, they're actually ranked 25th, allowing 128.9 yards a game. Now, the Chiefs on defense are allowing 228 passing yards a game, which is 10th, but they have a dismal 100. They're allowing 148 yards rushing per game, ranking 29th. I'm not really sure what to expect from Matt Moore. As I said, I'm sure Reid has had time to develop a game plan tailored to him. He's one of the really good, innovative offensive coaches, and I don't think he'll ask him to do more than he can do. He's definitely not Patrick Mahomes, but they still have those same weapons there. It's just a matter of, is he going to be able to get it to them? So I think the game is going to go the following way. Now, I also use an optimizer, and I'll show you how I did that and what I did with it. But I think the game is going to go with Green Bay trying to control the game, running the ball. I think they're going to try to put a lot of pressure on Moore, get Kansas City behind, and make Matt Moore beat them, which I think is going to set up, obviously, being a backup quarterback, the likelihood of perhaps some erratic plays or decisions. So I'm leaning towards the running backs for Green Bay. And this was the lineup that I came up with, and I'll further break it down as we go along. At captain, I have Aaron Jones. Flex position, Jamal Williams. Now, I know that's real chancy putting both running backs in there, but if they got a big enough lead, they would rest Jones and let Williams have his share. And 2 games ago, actually, Jamal Williams scored. He had a really good game a couple games ago against. It was the Detroit game. He actually had 14 carries for 104 yards, four catches for 32 yards and a touchdown, and scored 26 points. So, and he's been getting the carries. I mean, the Denver game in Week 3, he had 12 carries, 9 carries against Minnesota. So I like having both those running backs in there just in case Aaron Jones carries it between the 20s, runs out of breath, and in comes Jamal Williams to vulture the touchdown. At least I have exposure to both running backs. Next, as I said, the way I think the game's going to go, I feel like the Packers defense is going to try to put a lot of pressure on Matt Moore. They're going to try to make Matt Moore beat them. So I like the likelihood of getting some sacks. When sack, some set up all kinds of things, fumbles, erratic throws, interceptions, things like that. And it goes hand in hand with Jones and Williams too. Perhaps they get a defensive special teams touchdown, get the lead, then Green Bay can lean on their running backs. Devontae Adams is out tonight, and so their wide receivers again this week are going to be Valdez-Scantling and Allison. Looks like Jimmy Graham is going to be active. He doesn't have an injury designation for tonight's game, and Rodgers has been looking to him a lot. So, but my flex position, I'm going to go with Kelsey. I'm going to bring it back with the running back Damian Williams. Now, Williams has been taking a back seat to McCoy and getting less carries. But I think in this game plan for Kansas City, they don't want to have to put the game in Matt Moore's hands. So I think they're going to try to lean on their running game. I know McCoy has been getting more carries and seems to have taken over the number 1 spot. But I just have a feeling that Williams is going to get some run tonight. And that's the weakness of the Green Bay defense, as I mentioned earlier. And last, I had enough left. I had 12. I could have gotten anyone that I wanted. I could have got Hill, but I'm going to go with Rodgers. So now I have Rodgers, both running backs. I've covered all the scoring except for the kicker. I don't have any receivers for Rodgers, and if I had Rodgers in the captain, I would definitely have some receivers to go with him. But I feel like I have covered all the scoring possibilities with that lineup. I like Kelsey more than Tyreek Hill. with a backup quarterback. It's real chancy sitting, fading Tyreek Hill. But I don't know that Moore is going to be able to stand back there and get the ball into Hill's hands. Now, I'm sure that Andy Reid is going to develop some plays, some sweeps, reverses, short passes to get the ball into Hill's hands. But I think Matt Moore is going to be looking to Kelsey more. And when he came in for Mahomes in that Thursday night game, he was targeting Kelsey a lot. And then I have Williams, the running back, as I mentioned, instead of McCoy, and that allows me. I have 600 left, which is leaving money on the table in a showdown contest is sometimes a good thing. Differentiate yourself. I don't know how different this lineup will be, but I like this game script, and I am going to be playing this somewhere. So if you play it and you see up here the Cowboy Fan 215, that's me. We'll be splitting if we win it. I've never won a showdown contest. I've placed in a few, and I've cashed in a lot of them, but I really like this with that game script. And that's what's real important about the showdown is develop a game script, get the captain spot right, build around the captain spot, try to make sense of it. Me personally, I have a rule when I'm building lineups. The 2 kickers and 2 defenses, I only want to use one of those 4. Kickers have a better floor, unless it's a shutout. I like to lean towards the home kicker. And in this particular lineup, I didn't get to a kicker. I got to Green Bay's defense, but I might, in another lineup, switch out the Green Bay defense and get exposure to some of the kickers because they do offer a nice floor. So I always run things through an optimizer just so I can see different randomized things with players that I'm interested in. I limit the pool down just like I do when I'm building lineups for the main slate, and I put them in an optimizer because you're not going to see every randomization building manual lineups, and I like to see what the optimizer comes up with. So what I do is I run it for 150. On showdowns, I select 4 or 5 captains. This week, I actually I had Aaron Jones. I also set the minimum maximum exposures as well. This week, I had Aaron Jones set to be in at least 50% of the lineups in the captain spot. I had Aaron Rodgers at 20%, Damian Williams from Kansas City at 10%, Tyreek Hill at 10%, and Kelsey at 10%. And then I ran it for 150. And this was the very first lineup that it spit out. It had Damian, and I only set one rule to it as well. I set the rule that if the captain is in the or if the quarterback is in the captain's position, has to have 2 targets in the flex. This one had Damian Williams, captain, came back with Geronimo Allison in the flex, one of Rodgers' targets. It had Tyreek Hill in the flex. Both quarterbacks, Matt Moore and Aaron Rodgers. And it also had Aaron Jones running back. That's a really interesting lineup. I probably will play that. As I said, I'm not really crazy about Tyreek Hill. I do like Kelsey in there a little bit more. The way Green Bay plays defense, they funnel passes to the middle of the field, and Moore had a rapport with Kelsey when he took over from Mahomes. Plus, it's common knowledge when backup quarterback, they're trying to get the ball out of their hands as quick as possible. They're not wanting them to stand back there and take unnecessary hits or throw the ball down the field too much. But I like that more. But and it left 12. That leaves 1,200 on the table. If you put Tyreek Hill in there, there's none on the table. I think Tyreek Hill will be chalky. People, he can break a slate. I mean, it's real risky fading him. But I actually like the Travis Kelce in there. I think that makes more sense. And this is a really nice lineup. If Williams can get something going and maybe punch in a couple touchdowns, the case this would be a pretty high scoring lineup. And again, remember what I said. The 46 lineups, the captain spot has been on the winning team 32 of those. So I'm really leaning towards Green Bay winning this game. I think it would have been a much different game, obviously, with Patrick Mahomes in the game. So try to differentiate yourself, go with the game script, build your lineup to make sense, and have fun with it. I also wanted to remind you guys that during the game, Draftkings has an in-game contest called Flash Draft going, and it's a lot of fun. It keeps you interested in the game. It's like every 3 or 4 minutes they have it, and it's for the next quarter. And what they do is they and you can play $1, $5, $20, $50, and $100, I think. And what they do is you'll end up with 5 players, but they'll show you 3 players, and you have 15 seconds to pick one of them. And some of them have multipliers, so you got to pay attention to that. And you pick your players, and you end up with, group of 5, and then that plays for the next quarter, and they do it for the second, third, and fourth quarter. So it's just something to do. I wouldn't recommend it if you're just coming in, checking on the game every now and then. If you're following the game and you know what's going on, and you're following it pretty close, I'd recommend trying that flash draft out. It's pretty neat. I have actually done pretty well with that this year so far. I've cashed almost every time playing it, so it's just something added. I like it too because you can tell kind of early on in the showdown if your lineup has a chance to cash or move up. I mean, surely anything can happen, but oftentimes it's someone you didn't even think of that breaks the slate. And in the larger GPPs, when there's thousands of people in it, I think the last couple, matter of fact, had I think the Thursday night, the big one on DraftKings, had like 300 people tied for first place. I think they won like $1,700. So 1,700 is way better than no 100, obviously. But just keep these things in mind. I want to thank you guys for joining me. If you would please share, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I really appreciate it. It helps me out. I'll be back tomorrow with the Monday Night Football showdown between the Miami Dolphins and the Pittsburgh Steelers. My name is Ty Patton. This is all about winning daily fantasy sports, and I'll see you tomorrow.